Okay, thank you to Sam Smith for being our musical guest. Don't forget to buy his new album, The Thrill of It All, on iTunes in stores now. Okay, our next guest is up for being the most influential person during the Renaissance. He is a Dominican friar who was tried for heresy. Just let that sink in. Everyone, please welcome Girolamo Savonarola.
Thank you.
Welcome, Girolamo. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
So you're up for the most influential person during the Renaissance. How's that competition going so far?
I know that I am for sure to win. Everyone I'm against are painters. I actually had a real influence on the country during my rule. Anyone can smear paint on a wall or canvas and call it art.
So you think people like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo didn't have any effect during the time? I mean, look at the marvelous painting in the Sistine Chapel that Michelangelo did. Doesn't that do anything?
I mean, they definitely had an influence on the time, but let's be real here. I was the single greatest person from the era. I mean, look at all my accomplishments.
Oh yes, you sure did some amazing things during your time, but let's not forget that you had a lot of influence when it came to the Reformation and the Protestants, which wasn't a very good thing. What is your take on that whole situation?
After my death, my anti-corruption beliefs were found to be very popular in Germany and Switzerland. And even Martin Luther himself praised me as a martyr. My artistic censorship reappeared in the modern era, as Nazis burned works of art, and the ISIS terrorist group have been destroying sculptures that are thousands of years old in honor of my name.
How do you feel about being associated with groups like the Nazis and ISIS? Because I know Americans here aren't the biggest fans of the work that they've been doing.
I don't really care who I'm associated with. I just care that they appreciate what I did and that they understand the point that I was trying to get across to my people.
That's very understandable and a great explanation. Going back to the Reformation, your beliefs of people being clothed all the time had a big effect on the Puritans and how they became to be so crazy. How do you feel about being an influence, or as some would say, the cause of this?
I wanted people to be covered up because that is how a true Catholic is supposed to dress. Everyone knows that Puritans are insane, and even so, if they are following my rules, then I respect them.
This is a good point. But moving on, let's talk about your time as a prior at the convent of St. Mark. Summarize your time there for me and what you did.
I lived there and worshipped with all my other brothers there until I moved out once I was made dictator. I apologize. I loved it there. I loved worshiping to God, and having the title of prior was something that I was very proud of.
That's very odd of you to say, because if you loved it so much, then why'd you attack it with other priors and community members?
After I'd been excommunicated, I was feeling very angry, and I needed something to take it out on. My fellow priors, Fra Domingo and Frau Silvestro, were always there for me and were able to get in some of my supporters together to attack the convent. I never meant to hurt anyone there. I was just angry. Everything happens for a reason. At that point in my life, what did I have left to go with? I was legally kicked out of Italy. I wasn't allowed in the convent anymore, and all my supporters had left me. It ended up with me being executed, so I kind of regret what I did, but it was the most exciting thing that had happened to me in a long time.
Well, for what you've told us, it sounds like it. Could you give us a little insight on what happened during the execution and why it happened the way it did? And also, to piggyback on that, do you think that the Medici family was happy that you were being executed because they were the power you kicked out of France when you took over?
Well, put in a short way, I was convicted along with two of my friends for heresy, and we were sentenced to death. My friends were killed before me, and I was forced to watch. I was hanged last, and while I was hanging there about to die, I was slowly lowered so that the flames that lay beneath me would reach me before I died, and I would suffer even more. I personally do believe that the Medici were happy when I was killed because they probably believed that they could finally get their power back, and honestly, if I found out that the person who had kicked me out of power and ruined my life was dead, I would be happy too.
Well, with that conclusion, I would like to personally thank you for coming to the late night show this evening, and it was truly a pleasure talking to you. I hope your vote for most influential person goes well, and I wish you the best of luck.
It was a pleasure.
All right, we'll be right back after this break with Taylor Swift to talk about her new album. Don't go away, and we'll be back later.